Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're strapping in for what is really a shortcut into some of the most concentrated symbolic writing you'll ever find.
That's right. We're looking at texts from Isaiah and Revelation.
And these texts, they aren't just belief systems. They really provide a kind of a visual architecture for so much of Western thought.
A visual architecture, I like that. And our mission today is to do a precision extraction. We're not just summarizing, we're pulling out the specific lists, the numbers, the details that define two huge concepts.
Right, what that is.
First, the idea of the divine spirit having these 7 distinct facets. And second, the incredible universal worship that's aimed at this central figure, the Lamb.
And for you listening, this is about getting that knowledge quickly, but also getting it right. We're going straight to the core information, the intellectual keys that let you understand this symbolic language whenever you see it again. We're going to show you how the ancient blueprint connects to the future vision.
Let's jump in. So, to get this, we have to start with the blueprint. And for that, our source material takes us to the Old Testament, to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2.
Okay.
This is where we get the precise, structured list of the Spirit's qualities. It's not a vague description. It is a very specific 7-part definition.
So let's break that down. The text says the Spirit of the Lord will rest upon him, but then it immediately gives 6 more attributes. Why 7? And why these specific ones?
Well, 7 is, as you know, historically a number of completion or perfection. So by listing 7, the text is describing the perfect capability of this divine presence.
A kind of complete toolkit.
Exactly. It's like a comprehensive governance checklist. Look at the list itself. It starts with the Spirit of the Lord. Then you get the Spirit of wisdom and understanding.
Okay, that's a pair.
Right. Then the next pair, the Spirit of counsel and might. And it finishes with the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
I see the structure now. It's almost like it moves from intellectual capacity, wisdom, and understanding to executive ability, like counsel and might.
And then it ends with this moral and relational aspect. Knowledge and reverence, or fear of the Lord. It covers everything you'd need for perfect rule.
Right. So this is the blueprint. How does it become visual?
Well, that's the fascinating part. The New Testament vision in Revelation, it takes this list and just makes it immediately actionable. When John is writing in Revelation chapter 1, he actually includes the 7 spirits in his opening greeting.
He puts them right at the top.
Right at the core as a source of grace and peace. It signals they're not just abstract concepts, they're active.
And then we get that really stunning image in Revelation chapter 4,
Yeah.
where they're not just concepts anymore, they're objects.
Absolutely. The source tells us there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, and then it says it explicitly, which are the 7 spirits of God.
So from a list of words to burning lamps of fire.
It's a huge shift. They are manifested as active, burning fire, a visible source of light and presence right there at the center of all divine authority.
That feels very active. I mean, fire, light, lamps. These aren't passive symbols. They suggest energy, maybe even testing or illumination.
That's a great way to put it. The 7 spirits aren't just attributes of God in this vision. They are a manifested, active part of the heavenly government. Always burning, always alert before the throne.
So to sum up this first part, the sources give us a principle.
Yeah.
Divine presence is perfectly 7-fold. It moves from an idea in Isaiah to this constantly lit active force in Revelation.
Right, and that perfectly deployed presence is what sets the stage for the next character to enter.
Okay, let's get to him. This is where we connect that 7-fold blueprint to the figure that, as you said, commands this universal worship.
We move to the one who kicks off all the cosmic events, the Lamb.
And Revelation 5, verse 6 introduces this figure with a really critical detail. It appears as it had been slain.
And that's the central paradox. It's the whole point. We think of authority as coming from conquest, from power. But this figure's ultimate authority comes from sacrifice, from vulnerability.
It's a very different model of power.
It's the victory of the vulnerable. And the location confirms that authority. The text says the Lamb stands in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts and in the midst of the elders.
So for anyone listening who might not have this imagery memorized, What are these four beasts and elders? Why is being in the middle of them so significant?
Good question. We should ground this. The four beasts, or living creatures, they symbolize the highest order of creation, constantly praising. The 24 elders are generally seen as representing the full redeemed people of God.
All of them.
All of them. So by standing in the middle of the throne, creation's representatives and humanity's representatives, the Lamb is, well, he's literally at the nexus of all authority.
Okay, so that sets the scene. But the real connection happens when the Lamb and the seven spirits merge.
This is the moment. This is where that Isaiah blueprint is physically stamped onto this figure in Revelation. The source describes the Lamb as having 7 horns and 7 eyes.
2 more sets of 7.
Yes. And it doesn't leave us guessing. The text gives a definitive explanation. These 7 horns and 7 eyes are the 7 spirits of God.
Okay, so let's unpack that. A horn in this kind of literature is a symbol of power, of strength. And an eye is, sight, awareness, knowledge.
7 horns would be perfect, complete power. And 7 eyes would be perfect, complete knowledge. It's the total wisdom and understanding from that original list.
So the Lamb isn't just receiving the Spirit. It is the active manifestation of that power and knowledge.
Yeah, it embodies it completely.
But what is this power for? Where does it go? Is it just sort of static in this heavenly court?
Not at all. And the source answers that immediately. It says, these 7 eyes, which remember are the 7 spirits, are sent forth into all the earth.
So it's a global deployment.
It's a global deployment. This suggests the Lamb is the executive agent through which this divine presence, the wisdom, the might, the knowledge, is actively at work everywhere, seeing everything. It's the engine of divine action in the world.
Which brings us to the action itself. This whole scene hinges on a scroll, a book.
The narrative climax, really. The one on the throne is holding a scroll, and the question is asked, who is worthy to open it? And the Lamb just comes and silently, powerfully takes the book.
And that act, just taking it, triggers an immediate response.
An incredible response. The 4 living creatures and the 24 elders, they instantly fall down before the Lamb. It's absolute submission.
And they have props, you could say. They're holding harps, which is pretty straightforward. That's praise. But then they have golden vials full of odors. What exactly are those?
Right. The language is a bit archaic. Think of them as golden bowls or maybe censers. And the odors is incense.
Okay.
But here's the key connection the text makes. These bowls of incense are the prayers of saints.
Wow. So the worship happening in this cosmic throne room is literally being offered up with the prayers of people on earth.
It anchors the whole scene. And then they sing what the text calls a new song. And this song explains exactly why the Lamb is worthy.
And what are the reasons?
2 primary reasons, and they tie directly back to that image of the Lamb as it had been slain. First, for thou wast slain.
The sacrifice.
And second, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood. It's the sacrificial redemptive act that is the entire foundation for its authority.
And the song spells out the scope of that redemption, right? It's not for one group.
No, it's explicitly global. It says people redeemed from every kindred and tongue and people and nation. It is a vision of universal representation.
And what does that redemption achieve for them?
It changes their status. The song says they have been made unto our God kings and priests, and then it gives the promise, we shall reign on the earth.
So the Lamb's worthy act elevates the redeemed to this royal priestly role. It's the fulfillment of what's in that scroll.
That's the idea. And as soon as that song is over, the entire scene just explodes in scale.
Right. We go from this intimate group around the throne to something cosmic. The numbers in Revelation 5, verse 11, are just staggering.
They are. John says he hears the voice of many angels, and the number was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands.
Millions upon millions. You're not even supposed to be able to count it.
That's the point. It's meant to be an overwhelming, unimaginable chorus of celestial endorsement.
And what do they all say?
They declare what the Lamb is worthy to receive. And, just like the 7 spirits, it's another 7-fold list, they say the Lamb is worthy to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing.
It's interesting to pause on that list. You see things that echo the 7 spirits, like wisdom and power. But then it adds these very tangible things, riches, strength.
It's a holistic view of worthiness, isn't it? It covers both the spiritual domain and the material one. The Lamb is declared worthy of everything, all aspects of existence.
And that kind of sets up the grand finale of this worship scene. It expands even beyond the angels.
To everywhere. The source in Revelation 5, verse 13 makes it absolutely all-encompassing.
So who's left to join in?
Every category of created being. The text says, every creature which is in heaven and on the earth, under the earth, and such as are in the sea.
So there are no exceptions. No corner of creation is left silent.
It's a total universal consensus, and they all declare, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever.
And that's the big takeaway from the whole scene, isn't it? The ultimate honor is directed equally to the one on the throne and to the Lamb. It establishes their unified authority.
Yes. And then the scene closes with that final stamp of approval. The four beasts say, Amen. The elders fall down and worship. The whole sequence is complete.
So we've seen the divine presence defined, then integrated into the Lamb, whose worthy act is performed, and then this universal acclamation confirms everything.
We've covered a lot of dense ground today. We started with that blueprint of the seven spirits from Isaiah, saw them become lamps of fire, and then saw them integrated into the Lamb as 7 horns and 7 eyes.
The complete power and complete knowledge.
Right. And that integration is what enabled the Lamb's worthy act, claiming the scroll, which in turn led to the elevation of the redeemed and this scene of truly universal praise.
So what does this all mean for you, the person listening? Well, you now have the specific intellectual scaffolding, the code, really, that these writers used to talk about authority and divine action.
When you see this imagery again, the horns, the eyes, the lamps, you now have the keys to unlock what it's trying to say.
Right. These aren't just random, strange details. They are part of a structured, specific system defining perfect power and perfect knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to take away from this deep dive. When those millions of angels declared what the Lamb was worthy to receive, they included power, riches, and strength. Now, given how much of this vision focuses on spiritual things, like wisdom and glory, why do you think it was so essential for that angelic decree to include those 3 concepts, power, riches, strength, which we so often associate with, earthly temporal dominion? Think about how including the material in that ultimate decree might change the implications of the Lamb's reign, something to explore further in the source material. We'll see you next time.